What was the name of your little lawn mowing company?
The Lawn Wranglers?
See me driving down the street. I'm bored with looking good. I got both hands off the wheel. The cops are coming.
Roundup, episode 27, with our guest, Alec Cline. And for those of you who have viewed the Wrangler Roundup podcast, you may take note that our last guest was almost a year ago leading up to the Burning River, and that was Alec Cline again. So this is actually a follow-up interview. He's done quite a bit of racing, some really impressive racing, to say the least. So we want to get him back on and let him talk a little bit about what he's done leading up to Burning River and the whole Burning River 2025 experience. So before we get into that, I do want to mention our sponsor, and that is Alpha and Aloha Design. That's owned and operated by Jeff Lewis. Jeff is a lawn wrangler, but Jeff will put out just about anything, and he does it efficiently. He does it reasonably. He is one of the best people in the world. This guy, I'm telling you, once you do business with Jeff, you'll go no other place. You get singlets, quarter zips, t-shirts. I'm wearing this is not a KFC shirt. I love the logo. Shout out to Kenmore Running Club, Nick Kawoa. I always mess your name up, Nick. And Sean Blake, Thomas Jones, the other guys in the club. But they got their official club t-shirt by Alpha and Aloha Design. Follow them on Facebook and Instagram. Again, that's Alpha and Aloha Design for all your running merch needs. All right. So we're here with Alec again, and we are in the third week of July. Is that it?
Second.
What's
Yeah,
today's
just
date?
finishing up the second.
The 12th. Okay. Time is definitely flying
the
this
13th.
summer. It's the 13th. Okay. That tells you where I'm at right now. Hey, I'm a teacher. Summer, all the
That's
days blend together in the summer. So what we're going to do first, though, is we're going to talk a little bit about some of the highlights of this past spring, really going back to late winter, because you've had quite a bit of racing. I think going back to March with the Georgia Death Race. You just raced today. Just a few hours ago, Akron Trail Marathon. Jen Douglas, race director there. I saw you on the towpath. I was getting some miles in, and you were just starting out, and you looked like you were just breaking land speed records. So how did that go? Because I haven't had a chance to even talk to you about it.
It went really well. I was surprised that my legs gave me some speed because I have a lot of miles on the week so far, and I ended up breaking the course record by 17 minutes.
Another course record broken.
Yeah, so it was 3:12 before, and I did a 2:55.
2:55.
Yeah.
That's nuts. Who had the course record before that?
I do not remember his name. I'm sorry. I can't remember his name.
Curious now, how many years has the Akron Trail Marathon? Or is that a question for
This
Jen
is
Douglas?
year 5, I saw.
Year 5.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now let me ask you this, Alec. How many course records have you broken this spring, summer, season? Eagle Up? right?
A few, yeah. Eagle Up, at Hialeah. It's the second year for Hialeah. But I do have, let's see, there was a 50K back in February. That's called Lake of the Woods 50K. It's kind of hard to remember. There's a lot of races I've done.
Yeah. You've raced a lot. What are some highlights? What if you had to pick one or two races that really just it gave you that sense of accomplishment, mission completed? What would you say were the races this spring that you felt really good about?
First off, Georgia Death Race. I came back for a third year, and I really wanted to put a good effort this time around. I mean, I try to get better at it each year, and I came in third by 3 minutes. We were hunting each other down, and he passed me 5 miles before the end, and he made a comment. He's like, talk about the boogeyman. And I turned around. I'm like, oh my gosh. I said, don't let me catch you. And he said, don't worry, you won't. And I was like, oh my gosh,
Yeah.
And I was pushing, and we got to the last part, and it's a stair climb up of North Georgia's tallest waterfall, and it just crushed my legs. I barely could get up it. So he powered up it pretty well. But I did take third. I think it would have won it in previous years, if not top two,
That's by far your best time.
Yes, yeah, I did like in the mid 13s. I did 16 something the year before, and then my first year doing it was like 22 hours. So I've definitely climbed my way up in that race, and it's super hilly. But my favorite accomplishment this year is definitely Mohican. I'm so glad that it turned out the way it did. That was my first 50 miler back in 2020, and I did 3 years of the 50 miler. Then it was my first 100 back in 23. Then I came back for 24.
2023 was your first 100 miler?
It was, yes. And then I did 24 at Mohican, and then this year I came back and I won it. And I won it by a close margin. It was like 10 minutes, and he was getting close. He was chopping me down on time. Shout out to Levi Yoder. But winning that, I was just cloud nine. I mean, it was an extreme accomplishment. And it was just 2 weeks after Hialeah 100. And I did my best 100-mile time there. I did like a 14:04. And then 2 weeks later, did Mohican. And then a week later, I did Eagle Up 100, which I was showing up to Eagle Up 100 pretty sore, and it's all flat. It's much different from Mohican. But then I PR'd my 100 again, and I did a 13-hour and 37-minute. And fantastic 4 weeks. I mean, Eagle Up is definitely one of my favorite achievements, but they're all good. Ends up being currently the third fastest 100-miler in North America this year. That's good stuff.
Who are the two that you're behind?
I don't know who second is, but the first, he went like sub 12 hour. And yeah, I think it's like at the Desert Solstice 100-miler, but that's flying. Yeah, I can't even pronounce his name last time I remember, but he crushed that course. I think he beat second by like over an hour.
What's that course like, do you know?
It's flat.
Okay,
Yeah.
I was going to say. It's downhill, right?
Yeah, right. But, other than that, I've done a lot of 50Ks this year. I think that's helped my speed a lot. Like I said earlier, the Lake of the Woods 50K, that's down in like this this place near Cincinnati. I think that's where it's at. And it was 5K loops, and it was the day before the Winter Trail Series 50K. So I had a double 50K weekend. And I won both of those. And that Lake of the Woods, I beat the course record. I got under 4 hours by like 20 seconds.
What month was that?
That was in February.
Oh, so that was before the Georgia.
Yes. Yep.
Wow, man, you have done a lot of racing. I mean, I know Mohican, I know Eagle Up, but I just forget about all those, like the 50 milers you've done, and you've done some 50Ks too. Yes.
Lots of 50Ks.
Sprints.
So that's I haven't.
Sprint.
Oh well.
Short stuff.
Here's one I'm forgetting, and I feel bad I'm forgetting this. Is I did Get Lucky 50 miler, and I did that in 5 hours and 33 minutes, and that's all flat on towpath, and that's still the fastest 50 miler in North America this year. So
50 miler.
50 miler, yeah.
That's
all the other ones for 50Ks.
Yeah,
but
that's the fastest 50 miler in North America.
Yeah, so far this year. Yeah, so that was a stellar day. I had pacers for 40 of the 50 miles. Just everything went pretty right. I threw up a 35, but I drank too much water. But it ended up being a 6:43 pace. Just stuff I couldn't fathom in previous years.
Yeah, well, that's.
And that was 2 weeks before Georgia. That was the time frame.
And that's, I'm sure it's not just me. I mean, people who know you from the running community, like we met, I don't know, has it been 4 years?
3 or 4 years ago, yeah.
Was it 2025, 2021? I think it was year after COVID. We met at Jim Chaney's Royal Docks race.
Yes, it was 2021.
Yeah,
that's
I
right.
remember our conversation. It's funny because where you're at now just blows my mind. I remember I won that race, by the way.
That's right.
I did. Yeah. So everyone, I have beaten Alec Cline at least once, and it was a nickel and dime little 5K. It was nice, Jim.
That was a good 5K.
It was a good 5K.
Lots of turning.
It was great. Yeah. But I remember you came up with Corey. You were with your cousin, and I was there. I think Gage, Steve Needham was there. Jesse Adam?
Yes, Jesse Adams.
was there.
Don't forget, why am I blanking on his name?
Steve Needham, Gage Norham.
Shoot.
Am I missing
feel
someone?
bad I'm forgetting his name. I won't describe him, just in case I don't use that.
All right, if it comes back, don't shout it out there. I hate that when I can't remember.
He was on our Burning River relay, and I always compliment him for running so fast at 60 years old.
John Francis.
John Francis.
Was Francis there?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Because John Francis, I love you, man. So I come up to him behind him in this race, and he's coughing every 3 seconds. I mean, he's just hawking up a lung, and he's going 6 flat pace.
Yeah.
And I get up there, and I said, you don't even seem like you're working hard. And I coughed and joked around, and he just starts laughing hard. And he's like, yeah, I can't clear my throat.
Yeah, that's John for you.
He's
You'll know he's in the
flying.
race. He's hacking up a lung. I think John's a former smoker and might be part of it, but.
Now he's coming back.
Yeah, and my point is you came up and you were so, and this is the real Alec Cline. So this is a guy that sets course records, fastest 50 miler in North America right now. But this is how humble of a guy that Alec is. He comes up to me, this old geezer had a Hanes t-shirt. I think we had our old Wrangler. I had my own old Wrangler, Sharpie, the OG. And he said, me and my cousin were chatting before the race, and we were picking who was going to win the race, and I picked you. And I said, wow, I felt, yeah, that was, man. So here me, I'm 54 or something at the time, and this young guy, and you ran well that day. You ran 20.
You know, it took me like 3 years to break 20, and I definitely had not broken it yet at that point.
Yeah, and then, so here's our conversation, and we after that, I saw you at races, and we chat, and I'd see your cousin, and you knew Holly, and your uncle, who I always confused with Chad Lewis, and but it just from there, and then you ran on that Wrangler Trail relay team that year.
Wrangler Trail Squad.
Yeah, that was 2 years ago. That was a fun team. You guys had K-Dog on there, and I guess my point is, just from where I met you, when I met you, to see where you're at now blows my mind. And not that, I ever doubted you, but to see someone who's not even breaking 20 in a 5K and just 6:43 pace for 50 miles. I mean, I can't wrap my mind around that. But that leads me to this question. What has been, in your estimation, the biggest game changer for you in terms of training or how you approach running, all of it, nutrition, you name it?
I've never followed a plan, and I think that's to my benefit because when I've tried to follow a plan, it seems like work. And running brings me a lot of happiness. And I think if you're happy doing something, it's very much not work. And not following a plan, every day I go to work, and I run after work all the time, and I'm not a morning runner, nightclub. And
Technically they run at night.
Yeah, that's right.
So I'm grabbing my Diet Pepsi.
Well, I just, I kind of forget what I did the day before, and that sounds naive, but I just think of, where am I going to run today? And I've always really just focused on running volume, but I really do have a lot of fun with it. And I know that's not measurable, but I think it just really helps my progress, because when you're in pain and you can still smile and heckle people and do all this, and that's why I race a lot too, is it's just like, it's a, supported event that you get to be around your people, and I truly believe just the happiness I have in the sport has helped me. And in doing so, I've been able to run more and more. And since I started in 2018, I've just if I were to look at it in a grand scale, I've just really built up my volume naturally. Not trying to be like, hey, let's do this 3-month marathon program, and I've never ran 10 miles before. And it's just the allure of just trying something challenging and not knowing if it's possible. I mean, it sounds cliche, but I mean, I'll just sign up for stuff, and I don't even really pay much notice to the course, because it just, I'll look at some stuff that, what elevation or, yada, yada, but even before ultras. And I just sign up for them and just say, like, let's just see if I can rip the course and have fun with it. And I love to come early to races. I love to stay late. And being around those people just helped me do a lot. And then the nutrition thing, that didn't come for 5 years of me running. And I ate a lot of fast food for a long time. I mean, and I still eat it here and there, but nothing like I used to. It would be 7 days a week, and it was just easy. And you always get the naive would say, well, you run a lot, you'll burn it off. Well, your body still wants proper nutrition. You can't just eat crap. And I've said this before, I tried the 75 Hard Challenge 2 years ago, which is very strict. You do 2 workouts a day. You follow a diet with no cheating, a gallon of water a day. You read 10 pages of a nonfiction book a day, and then a progress picture. And you got to do that for 75 days without failure. And I got through the whole 75 days, and it just really ramped up my performance. I mean, that was the most locked in I've been on anything. And I just realized, wow, there is a secret weapon, and that's what we eat, And I'm not strict anymore to where I've never felt unhealthy relationship with food, but it can be used as good fuel, and food can be fun. And I think there's a great balance. I always say I eat 80% great, 20% eh.
What's your diet look like?
So my main goal is just hitting 200 grams of protein a day. I did low carb for a long time, which I've started introducing more of that. But my wife, jokes with me on this because I'll get hyperfixated on a certain food item, and it works. It's high protein, it tastes good, and I'll go 2 months and just eat that only thing for one meal a day. So for a long time, I was eating Greek yogurt with dark chocolate almonds every day for months. But recently, I just eat my eggs and English muffins in the morning, and then I make this super shake that I've made for 2 years. Just lots of protein, lots of good fats. And then dinner, it's if she makes anything or, whatever we find out. But it's usually healthy stuff, and as long as it's high in protein.
Eating some kale?
No kale.
No kale?
I've never put kale in anything.
For sure you eat.
No.
That's good.
Yeah, I just
Your
never
root
used
vegetables are good too, man.
What's that?
Your root vegetables.
Yeah. I guess with the vegetable thing, I'm not the greatest at. I use a lot of protein powders and stuff for my shakes, peanut butter and all this, but for my vegetables, it's not great. My fruits are pretty good.
Yeah.
I love blueberries.
Well, hey, you're doing something right. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Lots of water. Water's everything. Water's really, really good for you. And I used to drink a ton of pop when I was younger, and it just makes your teeth feel crappy, and you just get headaches. And something else is I grew up migraines daily for 10, 15 years. And in the past year, I've only gotten a headache once every month or so. It's very rare, and I never thought I would get out of that train. And I don't know what specifically I'm doing to fix that, but just the culmination of things. Yeah.
Something you said about not being on a training plan, but increasing, you said it twice, your volume. And I know because I've, been out with you before on runs, and Wednesday night, midweek when most people are doing 10 miles is a lot for me midweek, but you're getting 50 Ks in, marathon distances some nights. A guy told me a long time ago, we were on a run, and it stuck with me, and I'm sure it's been said a million times by a million different runners, but miles matter. And that really sticks with me, even coaching young kids, when I tell, especially beginning runners, and you're right, it has to be reasonable. You can't just go from a couple miles a week to 50 miles a week, but that gradual buildup, that really does make the engine more efficient. right? It opens up those capillaries. It makes you more efficient, feeling
Yeah.
the muscles, all those things. So it's interesting you say that you're not on a strict plan. It's really just the volume.
Yeah.
And you have been doing speed work. I know you got into speed work this week.
That is a new thing that I've done this year. I went 7 years with no speed work. I do a lot of small races, so like that is still a substitute for speed work.
Oh, yeah, you
done
run a
tons of 5Ks,
Yeah.
yeah. But my buddy Alex, me and him started going to the indoor track down in Canton. It's a new building, and they Second Soul. Thank you, Shannon Bragg. They actually rent it out every, I think it was Tuesdays. Yeah, I think it was Tuesdays. But we started in December, and we went all the way until they stopped in April every Tuesday, and I would just follow whatever speed work he was doing, whether it be 200s, 400s, 800s, even up to 1600. Well, no, we did 1200s. But it was just, it's awesome. Speed work hurts, and it sucks going alone. But being with him or anybody else that would join those nights, it made it really fun, and that's what I like about racing. So us doing that on Tuesdays, and then I would still be racing on Saturdays, you know, what I've heard is as you get to be a stronger runner, you can handle 2 speed workouts a week. You know, that 2 is like risky as you start off, and I feel like I've gotten to the point that I can safely do it, and it's definitely sped up my progress, definitely.
Yeah, and as you said, doing it with a group as opposed to trying to crank it out solo. Hey, it's communal suffering, you know. It hurts, but when you're with a group, it makes it much more manageable.
I mean, Kenyans, Ugandans, Ethiopians, huge part of their training is they train in groups all the time, like all the time.
Kenyans, Ugandans, you can even, you know, if you go up to Northern Europe, you know, with the Norwegians, Wranglers.
That's right. I mean, seriously, and when you realize you're just chatting, and even with speed work, we'd still be chatting at like a 6 flat pace when it seems ridiculous, but it does lower your effort level. And then all of a sudden you're done with a quarter mile and you're like, dang, we just did that. You know?
I think with group running, community running, all of that, I don't know about you, well, it has. I mean, for me, I can tell you, I ran solo, I got back into running, you know, I talked to you before, like I was 47 when I seriously got back in running. I was 49 when I ran my first marathon. But I ran solo for the first couple of years, and I couldn't figure out why I wasn't getting any faster. And once I started running with a group, I got faster.
Yeah.
And I'm sure you could do a whole case study on why, but there's definite benefits to running in a group. And that's why it's great to see in this community, we have all these just really thriving groups. You got, you know, PLX, you got Kenmore Running Club, of course the Wranglers, you got the nightclub now. It's nice to see that Taylor, you know, got that group together down in Canton.
Got the Trail
Canal
Enthusiasts.
Rats, the Trail Enthusiasts, as my buddy Adil calls them.
What's the Trail Seekers? That's
Trail Seekers. You got SRCC. She runs this town. Is that SRTT and MRTT? You got those groups. I just met a new group at the Akron 8K. They're called Solely Responsible. They meet downtown in Akron at the Akron Public Schools, Akron Board of Education. And they're an urban running group, and they just love the communal aspect of meeting up and running. And
Ohio
I'm
is
all
like
for it.
really stacked with runners. I mean, I've been out of state a couple times to do races, and when I talk to people, they don't have anybody around.
No,
them.
yeah, I travel, and sometimes I'll look like I'm traveling. I want to meet up with some runners and run, and I'm looking. Like, where are the running groups around here?
Yeah.
Our one friend Terry Colin, who worked in Erie, Pennsylvania, for a 6-month stretch, she said she could not find a running group in Erie, Pennsylvania, and the ones that she found, you had to pay to belong to a group. Who knows? Like,
I had to pay for a running group.
yeah,
one
you
time.
charge for oxygen. Like, why would you even pay to belong to a running group?
Yeah,
That's
odd.
ridiculous.
Where's it going?
Yeah,
You're gonna give us
exactly.
new shoes at the end of
Right.
the cycle?
Yeah, and you know what? Where was I at? Was it Montreal 2 summers ago? I think I ran into one of those paid because I was looking up on Facebook, and they're like, "Yeah, we have a Tuesday night meetup, and it's like, I don't know, $15 a month." If you're like, you gotta be out of your mind.
That's so weird. What if I just ran next to you guys?
Right,
What
exactly.
are you
What are
gonna do?
you
Kick
gonna
me
do?
out of the
Kick me out
road?
of your group?
That's right.
Who wants to? It's ridiculous.
It is weird.
Yeah. How do we get on that? Oh, training.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, with all that too, in group running is, I'm a huge believer of zone 2 work. So it's, in a scientific way, it's polarized training. You keep your easies easy and your hards hard. And, you'll hear with that is you kind of avoid zone 3. And that's what I believe is you do easy zone 2. You're basically, the way that I've kind of put it together in my head is zone 2 builds more highways for oxygen, and then zone 4 and 5 makes those cars on those highways, super fast cars, like high performing engines. So not only do you have more highways, you have better cars. So that's your VO2 with the better cars. So I try to avoid zone 3 and like low zone 4. You got to do really hards and really easies, and that's what I believe. And group running keeps it easy.
Yeah, it does. It does. That's quite metaphorical.
Yeah, I think it helps in my mind.
You ever think about going into like language arts education or anything?
I don't know.
Unless you're on with Gage Norm, I have to. Gage doesn't understand zone 2. He's straight up zone 4. Anything else? Do we want to talk about recovery? Or do we want to wait and talk about? We might as well talk about training. What's recovery look like for Alec Cline? 20-mile run.
It's weird. I do run an absolute ton. I've gone 7 days a week for a while before. Now I force myself to take Thursdays off of running. But the body wants to move. And if you don't have any actual visible injuries, which, you can tell when something's going on usually. If you feel a niggle anywhere, anything, you know that something may be going on. You have to focus on that. But if not, and it's just balance soreness, my belief is still running, jogging, jogging will flush that out and you recover on the way. And I think our whole understanding, I think it's good to be reserved and more cautious than not. But, if you do a hard race and you take a whole week off, you're probably more likely to get injured because your body's going to heal wrong, in my opinion. I think you need to keep that motion going. So I run a lot, but, high protein, high water. I like walking. I think walking is good. It's very low impact. I use compression boots, but I don't use them a ton. And sometimes I'll just sit in my room at home and just stretch, and sit on the ground and just do a lot of mobility and sauna. I love the sauna. I think the sauna really forces a lot of recovery. I like it a lot more than ice baths.
Ever do a hot Epsom salt bath?
No, I haven't. I've done it with my feet before, but never done a full bath. Actually, Brandon Daniel's huge about that. He does it every single day.
Epsom salt?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I'm a firm believer as well.
Yeah, he's big on that.
Yeah, I love the Epsom salt bath.
But yeah, recovery, that's something I think that you have to learn what works for you. I think there's better ideas of how to train than there's better ideas how to recover.
That's true. And everyone's a little bit different,
Yeah.
And everyone kind of recovers differently.
Yeah, and it just also depends on if you really want to go out and run again. That's the mental aspect.
It also depends on, life gets in the way. None of us are pros yet. You might be one, but, life gets in the way. You have significant others, you got career, you got other obligations. So there might be some days where, your recovery, because you can't run, might be a walk, might be stretching, foam rolling, whatever. But you're right, everyone is a bit different, and your body's different too. So
disclaimer: I don't have kids, so I got a lot of time. We got kids with Pauls, so
That's right. Yeah. Well, they're still they need attention.
You know, it's just the thing, though.
How many dogs you got?
We have one dog. Yeah,
What's your
two
dog's?
cats.
What's your dog's name?
Her name is Moose. She's a chocolate lab. when we got her, she went and we took her to the toy section, and she picked out a moose stuffed animal, which we later found out was a horse, but it looked like a moose to us. So
You ever run with your dog? They're runners. Labs
She's
are runners.
rough.
Oh, she wouldn't be a good. My wife's always like, Larry, let's get a dog. You can run with them. I'm like, have you seen? Like, some of these dogs don't understand the concept of running. You know, they're all over the place, right?
You know, if we did a better job when she was younger to train her.
You gotta train them up.
She wants to sniff everything that exists.
Yeah, there you go. Exactly.
There's a rock
you're
there.
End up breaking your neck, tripping over her.
It's like 20-minute miles.
Yeah, right. And you got two cats.
Yes, two cats.
What are their names?
We got Mochi and we got Queso. Queso is like a white cat with like an orange tail, and it just looks like queso dip. And Mochi's like this tortoise shell. They're little gremlins.
You a cat person or dog person?
Dog.
Yeah.
Cats are chill, but dogs are man's best friend.
Oh yeah. I know. I'm looking forward to getting it. Retirement. That's I keep on telling
That's
me.
right.
We have two cats. They want to kill us. And the only reason they hang around because we feed them.
Yep.
You know. All right, buddy. Let's get right down to it. Expectations for the 2025 19th annual Burning River. Alec brought in some props. I love it. Got the buckle from last year. And
You know, this is the most I've ever trained for a race. So hopefully it's not to my detriment. We'll see. You know, I don't know what it's going to turn out to be. I had a little rocky road last year. It was going super well. And I have to look back exactly when it happened, but it was between 85 and 89. I led for 89 miles from what I believe, and I started spitting blood and things just exploded. I was on track for like 14 hours. Never thought I could run that fast, and I think I just needed a lot of extra water. It was really hot that day, and I got passed up by second and third place. And I was happy it happened. You know, I talked to Sam, my wife, and I was like, you know, I'm glad I didn't win that. And she's like, why? And I was like, you know, I feel like I learned so much more from that race than I had from anything else. Because, like, I blew up. And after the fact, it was exciting, you know. And I'm just like, I found my limit. And I liked that. It really, like, made me feel good. So this year, since the beginning of the year, really since Burning River last year, I'm like, you wait till next year. And I wanted to put in a lot of laser focused training. So what my plan was after Eagle Up, which was June 7th, I was going to take a little bit down week. And then I basically had 4 weeks of big volume, which this is the last day of the 4 weeks. And then 2 weeks of taper coming up. So, you know, week 1 I did 130 miles. Week 2 I did 140, week 3 I did 154, and this week I just topped it off with 160. And huge build. Last week I started losing hope, and I was tired every single day.
you looked rough on that Wednesday.
Oh yeah, because you came in and I was like, I don't know if I'm having fun anymore.
Yeah. But that's ebb and flow, right?
Yeah.
I mean, and then running is cliche, it's a metaphor for life. And I like what you said about, I'm glad I lost that race. I mean, you know, you reflect back, failure is the biggest teacher. You win, you don't reflect as much.
Yeah.
Went well.
And you're not going to remember the race that went perfect. You're going to remember the things that were crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And it does, through reflection and through really taking a deep dive into why certain things happened, I do believe that it enables you to correct things and to improve. But yeah, I mean, that's the whole draw of the sport. That's why we love it, right? Because you put yourself on the line. You go out there.
It's a race.
It is.
You know, and not everybody's necessarily racing these distances. And, you know, when you get to these uber long distances, it's like, it's much more the sense of accomplishment.
I mean, there's some excitement. there's excitement in the community. I mean, everyone who knows you and runs with you on whatever level, they're excited for you. You should know that. You got a lot of people really rooting for you this year. So
yeah. I mean, with the training, I found new limits, and I hope the volume pays off. And all I can do is just go out there and do as best I can. And I do have this course record in sights. It'd be fun to try to contest that. And it's
14 hours and
I always forget the minutes, but it's like 14, 19
17
or 17.
Something like that?
Yeah, and that's a very honorable time because that's fast. I mean, I know the pace, I think is 8:32. And, it's like 8,500 feet of elevation. It's usually really hot. Who knows? It could be super muddy.
Never know.
Which that would change everything.
Spring we've had,
Yeah. And something I've not been good at before with long races is tapering. I'll take like the last 4 days and just take it easy instead of like 2 weeks like I'm trying to do this time. And I tried it this year with my first 300s and they all went super well.
Good.
So it's like basically the week of I do a 5K a day and I just try to get to the heart rate. I like the mid 140s. That seems to be what I can hold for 100. And so I just do that for a 5K just to get the turnover. And it like kind of tires me out because, when I'm doing 20 miles a day for training, when you back it way down, you have all this pent up energy and you can't sleep at night very well. So this first week of taper sucks always. And then next week, like my body somewhat gets regulated again. But I hope it goes well. I mean, I'm going to have fun, but it's going to stretch me still. Something with this training is my legs haven't really been that sore. I'm surprised with just the number of miles.
Yeah.
I mean, it's almost 600 miles in 4 weeks, and I thought that my legs would be broken in half by now. But really, it's just accumulated fatigue, but it's not been as bad as I thought. And just today, I ran that marathon, and I started with 124 miles on the week, and I ran a sub 3 on trails, and I was so amazed by that. And then we did 10 miles after to finish it off with a 160-mile week.
Wow.
Incredible
stuff, man.
Volume builds your body for efficiency if you can do it safely. Definitely. And Burning River is going to be a fun one. Yeah.
And then after Burning River, you're jumping right into the eastern states.
Yeah, so it's kind of cool because like the training block will really support both races. There's 2 weeks in between, which isn't a lot of time, but just what I'm going to do for recovery, a lot of sauna, stretching. I mean, I've done it before and it's really worked well for me. So going into Eastern States, that's a totally different race. It's almost 21,000 feet of elevation. It's out in Pennsylvania. It's one single 100-mile loop, just brutal climbs. But I got a good crew. I got my wife, I got Tommy, I got Brad Trexler coming out to pace me, and I got Courtney Clark that actually was the winning female at Eagle
I saw her. Yeah.
Yeah,
okay.
She's coming out to pace me as well.
Okay.
So I got all 5 of us. It's gonna be awesome. And that's not hills I have kind of neglected in the past couple months because the stuff I've been doing hasn't really required hills. It's after Georgia, and so that's just going to be a fun challenge in itself. Volume can help make up the difference, but hills still help a lot. So I'm more focused on Burning River, and then I know when I'm laying in bed hurting from Burning River, and then I'll do a lot of reading up on the race because I haven't done a lot of research on it. I mean, it's 100 miles. It's going to be hard. Nothing that I read is really, truly going to help me until after Burning River. And that's a big race. That's a big deal race on the East Coast.
Where are the dates on that?
That is August 8th. Yeah.
Okay. And then, of course, we talked about this earlier, but pathway to Western States. I know you've put in for the lottery.
Yeah, I have 2 years worth of tickets. And I have another ticket I'll put in this December, so that I'll go to 4 tickets because it starts doubling. I've had some friends entice me to try to go out and do a golden ticket race. That's a whole different ball game for competition, which is exciting, and I've been doing a lot around here locally, and I know I need to start branching out. I've had some friends try to convince me to do javelina, so it's a big wait list, so we'll see. I've been thinking about applying for it, but that's pretty flat, and like the top 10 basically do all what I did at Eagle Up. I mean, just insane competition. It's in the 90s in the temperature. It's in Arizona, but if you get top 2 in that, you get a golden ticket for Western States. So that's like an automatic entry. So we'll see. I mean, I'm thinking about it, you know.
When would you have to commit to that?
I mean, I should probably look into see if I can get in now, because it's the end of October, so it's coming up, you know. But you know, my training would be the same, you know, and I'd probably do even more flat miles and a ton of sauna just because of how hot it'll be. But just a lot of miles, and you know, if I can safely do it again, a lot of miles would yield good results. And
yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I would love to do Western States. You know, I try not to be greedy with trying to just do all the gigantic races. I just like trying them all because there's so many cool places, and I have this lifetime goal. I want to do 100 in each state, and it's going to take me decades, which is cool. You know, I like the marathon in every state thing, and I think 100 in every state would really truly show you like their nature, and you know, even if they're road races, it'll just show you so much of that state, and it sounds fun.
Yeah, sounds like an Alec Cline.
It would take a long time. Which I just saw this week, like Rick Homan, he has 26 states done.
Does he?
Yeah, because he has 5300s done and 2 200s.
Wow.
Yeah,
man.
He's going for the 100s. So there's a very, very exclusive list, and there's only like 37 people on that list.
How many hundreds do you have?
This will be my 12th at Burning River as long as I finish. So yeah, I have 11 so far.
Yeah, and you're 20 what?
I'm turning 29 in 2 weeks, 3 weeks. Yeah.
Okay, last year the 20s.
Yeah. Rest in peace. I'm retiring when I'm 30, so no more running after that.
You'll be running for a long time. So speaking of races and 100 in every state, and you know that gets pricey.
Yeah.
And as much as you race, you know that's a lot. It's not just the entry fees, but it's keeping up with shoes, keeping up with nutrition, traveling expenses. Have you thought about sponsorships?
Yeah, I've thought about it, that's for sure. I mean, it would be great, you know, if it worked out where it would allow me to, you know, take less time at a job, you know. It's cutthroat, you know, to even get into that realm. You know, I've sent a lot of running resumes to companies, and, you know, it's just because I'm not doing high profile races, you know, and which is odd, you know, because you think still, no matter where you're doing racing, you have an influence on people, you know, and I know myself, when I see people winning races, like I want to know what gear they use. I want to know the stuff they're into.
Yeah.
And no matter where you're at, you know, whether it be Western States or Mohican or whatever. So, you know, it's just due time. And honestly, I don't have like a huge social media. You know, I like to make like just homemade videos and stuff of, you know, just me talking through my training, but that's a big deal to companies, and I totally understand from a marketing standpoint is, you know, you want outreach, and you can't really put data on outreach if you don't just have a following.
Yeah.
You can't really like put quantitative numbers to, I know all these people in Ohio, you know. Yeah. But the flip side to that is the nervousness comes from if I ever saw myself getting sponsored, I don't know where my life would be dictated and what I can and can't do.
You're kind of at the mercy of that company. Yeah, I was thinking that, and I think Alec is a free spirit, and that would be difficult.
And who knows? You know, there may be tons of opportunities, different contractual things, like, and I feel like I didn't get where I am now with just picking and choosing racing, and you know, I think running is just about having fun, and if you're just like, no, I'm going to do these 2 races every year, like that would not be fun to me. I would rather just work a full-time job, you know, and but I don't want to. I would love the financial opportunity to go and do more racing and travel the world, and and I feel like the world is a laborious society, and I feel like we should work. I think that's important, but there are select few people, and I'm not saying I'm any different from anybody else, but if you push so far into a skill, trade, profession, that you have worked for the opportunity to be able to step back from a money generating job. Like I work in manufacturing, I think that rules the world, and it's like I think I have built to the point that it would make sense in my mind, philosophical wise, that I'd be allowed to step back from working just because I've pushed to that sense or pushed to that level, and I know it wouldn't last forever, but while I can, I would love to do it.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you've as you said, I think you've done everything, and you're continuing to do it, to put yourself in a position.
Yeah.
As you said, excelling in that field.
And being a professional athlete, like, it's some of the stuff they have access to seems so cool, at least just like recovery tools.
Yeah. And how about like a masseuse, like a sports?
Yeah.
That'd be nice, right?
Because your body is your money maker. Really, it's like you are being supported to get you to be your best.
Right now,
condition.
if you need a deep tissue massage, you're gonna have to
pay for it.
shell out some bucks, man.
Yeah, and and that's kind of helped in my favor, the fact that running is my only hobby. I've put all my eggs in one basket, and me and Sam both work full time.
Thank God you're not a golfer.
Yeah, ain't that the sport? No, but
no offense to our golfers out there.
We have all our bills paid. We have a nice home. It's like,
and you got moose and the cats. You don't have, it's not like. So yeah, you're in a good position.
Yeah, and we're not going out all the time and drinking and this and that, and it's wake up. So I think that people know I spend a lot of money on racing, but listen, I'll sign up for a whole 12 months in advance, get the cheapest price possible. I've been fortunate enough, so some local race directors do give me discounts, and that's super cool.
Yeah.
I love promoting the races, and I think they know that too, is like more people are gonna go if I'm just sharing it in this and this, and I love it. That's they know that I love running and racing, and there's so many races in Ohio. It's just silly.
Yeah, well, you're a great ambassador for the sport here in Akron and the surrounding counties. I mean, as I said earlier, always a smile on your face, humble. That's why a lot of people root for you, man.
I appreciate that.
Me included.
Thank you.
And Tommy Boy, LFG.
Tommy, we've had a long friendship, and he always knows the first day I met him, I thought he was annoying as hell. And I love that guy.
I remember my first run with Tommy Sharp. He's like, man, I don't know how y'all, Tommy, K-Dog with an edge. We're out there running around. It was Pat Patterson's old little loop around Cuyahoga Falls, and Adam brought him up for a run. And he goes, man, I think we were doing like a 10K or something that day. I don't know. And someone's like, yeah, you want to do another mile? And I'm like, yeah, whatever. And he's like, man, I don't know how y'all do this. And I said, Tommy, how do you eat an elephant? Do you remember this?
I was not there.
Big Tim Gardner was right next to me. I go, one bite at a time, Tommy. And then he does a 100-miler like a year later. So
yeah, he's got a lot of mental grit, and
he does.
Being friends with him is awesome.
Very tough. Yeah, tough-nosed individual. So.
And he's always got a megaphone.
Oh, he's got a megaphone. Yep. It'll spike your heart rate. Yeah. So you throw your zone 2 out the window. All right, man, Alec. I'm excited for you, and we're going to see what happens here in a couple weeks.
Yeah, for sure. And it's going to be fun no matter what. No matter what happens, it's going to be fun.
Yeah, it will be fun.
And I know we will find some dark spots, and that's good.
All right, well, I can't wait to see what the future holds for you. All right, man, thanks for coming on again. And this will air the week leading into Burning River.
Cool.
I'll probably put it out on a Sunday night.
With the promo.
Promo comes out. Burning River promo. This is going to be a special. This is Burning River 6 Wrangler edition. And this is going to be one of our best efforts. So,
it's only in exclusive theaters.
Right.
You got to pay top dollar for this.
You do. Yeah. We have fun.
We do.
All right. Well, next guest, I'm going to have to scrape one up. So, hey, if you want to be on the Wrangler Roundup, shoot me a message through Messenger. I'll get you on. Yeah, because we're looking for some guests for the next calendar season. So, yep, message me, or I'll message you, one of the two. Thank you, Alec Cline.
Thank you.
Appreciate it, buddy.
Appreciate you.
All right, champ.